On the deck.
Rob, who take what?
Right.
Hello.
But anywho, let's go and get this thing started.
Okay.
Right.
Up in this beat.
Let it ride.
I got the good light on me today. What I'm say? Now you got a new workstation?
Pause. What's going on, everybody, boys and girls, ladies and gents? Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Fairly Decent Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Najee Jones, here with some of my nearest and dearest. The dude with the thankful hoodie on, you know what I'm saying? We refer to him as Setback 24, but you can refer to him as Setback 24.
What's good, y'all? What's good? What's good? Welcome.
Terrible.
Old boy dressed in all black, you know what I'm saying, like my laces, you know what I'm saying, about to go pre-order my PS5. Wink, wink, Mr. T-Love.
You already know, dressing all black and my gun the same color.
You know what I'm saying?
I know
My bad. I gotta take them back. We can't talk about them. We can't recite them lyrics no more.
Right. And then last but not least, Mr. Wear Brims himself with the hat looked like he just won the majors. Mr. Taj Kirk.
Come on, bro. It's the millennial game, bro. Don't mess with me.
You don't be trying to talk like you sexy and shit, man. You
know what I'm saying? I got the good mic.
I don't even know what he said.
Right.
I got the good mic.
You like got the mic that came with the Xbox 360.
I said it's the millionaire game. You know what it is. It's your boy Taj Kirk.
Wait.
Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? How y'all been?
Been good, man. We just got back from LA celebrating.
Lower Alabama.
I thought you went to North Carolina.
I was there too.
That you say you went to Virginia.
I was there too.
Little country tour, didn't it?
Yeah, so
3 separate stores, man. We gotta get this shit together.
I went to LA, go hang out with Rich and LeBron. So we just talked it up. Talked it up for a little while.
Hey man,
it was a day trip. It was a day trip, and I got on the PJ. They sent me to the PJ. We went to VA.
Are you saying you a fanboy? You said PJ.
Did y'all practice? Man, did y'all practice that?
Boy, I was that coordinated.
Was that coordinated? Like, hey, I'm gonna say, Taj, you're a fanboy. Not just say, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, I guess I sent him a text.
I did it. I thought it was. But nah, I was in VA. Then I went to NC. You know what I'm saying? Outer Banks.
You need to holler at my boy said, man. You
now, I was in Kill Devil Hills. I think I was far from Charlotte. Kill Devil Hills. It's by Outer Banks.
Oh, you on East North Carolina, far east.
We was on the beach.
East and off a little bit. I've been out there before, but not to there. I've been out to
I mean, it was cold in the motherfucker.
Wilmington area.
How far is that from you?
3 hours, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not too far.
Not that bad.
3.5, 4. Yeah, but not too bad.
Man, it was cold.
You got family out there?
Nah, I was telling Taryn we rented out a little beach house. You know what I'm saying? And then we all just came there, and had a good time. Celebrate my auntie's 60th birthday.
How many days you say you there again?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We left Monday morning.
Oh, I need to go buy a beach house.
How much? Never mind. Text me how much it was, man.
Oh, ain't nothing. It's a small change. You know what I'm saying? Small change to a giant.
We're gonna do podcasts on location for
it was It was I know the property was a $3 million property though. I asked the guy.
Pretty dope.
I can't hear you, Najee. You got all this equipment over there, all this tech. You sounding far away.
That's worse.
Nope, it's even worse. Trying to buy all this new equipment. You got too much stuff plugged up. That's what it is.
Technical difficulty.
Unplug some things, Najee.
The host is not with us.
Why can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. About to say we're gonna keep hearing me.
Yes.
Yeah, I just switched completely to my AirPods. But I said we're gonna do podcasts on location. Episode 1, season 3. We're gonna do it at the same spot. So go and set it up, Ty.
I got you. I need at least a stack from everybody.
Wait, my bank account set up. I got a check-ins and a savings.
All right, man. Episode 1, season 3 got canceled, bro. You know what I'm saying?
That quick.
Production cost was too high.
That quick.
But nah, how everybody else been? You know, Ty's been on world tour. Where everybody else been up to?
You know, I've been feeling great. You know, I went ahead for this presidential election. I went ahead, you know, gave myself a haircut. You know, cut off my facial hair. I wanted to look real young for it. You know,
He online.
Too bad, bro.
You got eyebrows? You cut them off too?
Yeah, they
okay. Ooh, okay. All right.
It went Super Saiyan 3. You know, you get Super Saiyan 3, your eyebrows fall off. But
y'all ready for me to go Super Saiyan? Nah, I ain't gonna do it this episode. I'm gonna wait till the next episode. It might take like 30 minutes of the episode.
I say, oh yeah, the only way you're gonna look young is you gonna look at a picture. But what about you, Sid?
Oh wow, I look the same my whole life.
I'm good, man. Trying to, you know, I don't think we're in as much of a decisive environment as I wish we would be right now, 2 days out of the election. But it's leaning in
it's a wrap.
Different direction, in a direction that would lead to some
wrap.
Great segue, Seth. You know, that's why I picked Seth last. I know he's gonna segue into something that I want to talk about. It's funny that you mentioned that because I think it was during the primary elections, but Bernie Sanders went on Jimmy Kimmel, and he damn near predicted exactly what the fuck is going on right now, like verbatim, slide by slide. He predicted everything. He said that the election wasn't going to be decisive on the election night. It was going to hold off until, or it was going to hold over until the following Friday, probably. He said that we were going to be waiting on mail-in ballots votes to be counted because those were going to be saved for last. He said that the current administration will do everything that they could to try to stop from losing as a regard of those mail-in ballots being counted. And then he also predicted every single state that we were going to be waiting on for their mail-in ballots to be counted. He said Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Arizona, Georgia. Like, he called every single one of them off. Like, this didn't just happen a few days ago. Like, this was like a year ago that he was just naming all this shit off. And I was like, bro, like, I'm not convinced that this video wasn't shot yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that clip you're talking about.
Yeah.
It was like 7 months ago for real, right? Something like that.
I didn't realize when the clip was. I thought it was semi-recently. I thought he was out of the running at this point. But I saw the clip yesterday on social media, and I was like, yeah, he knocked this out of the park. He laid it out play by play, like you said.
And I was talking to Taryn about this earlier. I'm gonna go into my conspiracy theorist bag for a minute. But you know what I'm saying, if I could speak freely, I think, and keep in mind, if I could think of this, which I think is a smart strategy, motherfuckers that could pay way more than me to actually do shit like this probably thought of it too. But what I think happened is I think Bernie Sanders would have probably been the best candidate to run for the Democrats in the election. And I think that, me personally, and I think that the other side knows that as well. And what I truly believe is that the other side plays a part in like the primary elections to try to sort through the landscape of Democratic nominees, if you would, and they try to home in on which one would be the easiest one to beat in an actual election, and they try to help that party boost up to the top of all the candidates. Because if we can use our resources to try to help the other side get their worst candidate some exposure, then we'll have an easier time when the actual election comes around. I feel like that would be a smart strategy and one that could easily go, under the radar, because you don't necessarily, you're just out there during primary elections, voting for your candidate. You don't necessarily know basically what's going on behind the scenes. And I feel like that would be a smart strategy. And I'm not unconvinced that that's some shit that actually goes on. Yeah.
I think it would take a lot of coordination. I'm definitely not saying you're wrong, because I do think that it could happen. In North Carolina, so if you file as an unaffiliated voter, in the primary, you have to elect Democrat, Republican, or Independent, or whatever, whoever's having a primary race. So you have to elect, and you get a different ballot based on that. So if I say that I'm running as a Republican for this primary, or if I align to a Republican affiliation, I don't get an option in the Democratic ballot. So they would have to have a large percentage in North Carolina. This is how it would have to work. They would have to have a large position of people, a large population of people that they, task with doing this to move the needle enough for that to be the case. So it would take a lot of coordination, and it also may mess up their own races in that a candidate that they would want to win or for their primary, especially if they're not running an incumbent. So if the person is not already in office, they would be taking votes away from somebody on their side who could be more winnable, more attractive in the national general elections.
Are you saying like how Kanye's doing it?
Nah.
Najee?
Not at all. And
I
keep in mind,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was keep in mind, I'm not necessarily talking about votes. I'm talking about stuff as simple as like resources, like money, putting money into a campaign, this, that, and the third.
Yeah. I was speaking about it from the voter standpoint, but when it comes to resources, it's give who you want to, and I can see that. Yeah, I see what you're saying there.
But I also think that a lot of people probably thought, even though Biden's old too, but I really truly think that they didn't think that he would make it through his presidency, because I guess he had health issues concerning the last time, and this is, I guess, 4 years later too. So, but I'm not for certain on that, but that's just what I heard. The last go around, that a lot of people felt that his health wasn't the greatest.
Right. I mean, would you say he's 79?
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, I mean,
that's gone.
It's a good
78, 79
thing to be concerned about.
4 years ago,
Joe's 77, 78. So
yeah, I mean, right,
not too far off, but
right on his heels. So kind of staying on that topic, just everything going on for everybody who's listening. Right now we're in the midst of the tail end of the election. Biden is currently winning electoral college votes, allegedly 264 to Donald Trump's 14. Literally, Joe Biden can win any remaining state, and he will be announced as the president. So with that being the current landscape of things, how y'all feel? You don't care any about the election going on right now?
Do you think when I'm speaking into existence, when Joe Biden becomes president, Trump's gonna try to call for a recount?
Oh, definitely. He's already doing it.
Yeah,
I'm talking about for all of them.
He can't do all of them. But if he wins, like I think he's gonna win like 3 of these states. So if it's that much of a landslide, I don't know if they will be able to do it. But if it's 270 to 268, maybe yes.
Which states you think he's gonna win?
He's gonna win Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Nevada.
You think he's gonna split Georgia?
Yes.
Really?
It's only $9,000. I mean, 9,000 count difference right now, and I think it's like somewhere between 30 and 50,000 votes left to be counted.
Which areas in Georgia hasn't been counted? That's
Atlanta metro area.
Your area.
Yeah, we got it.
I was saying that he's gonna flip Georgia since day one. So
you said that?
Yes.
He didn't say that to you.
I was telling Terry, it's kind of ironic when you think about it. Governor Kemp, it's no secret. It's for people who live outside of Georgia, let alone the people that live here. The Governor Kemp has been like Donald Trump's, little poster boy. He's been the biggest of the governor Trump supporters in the nation. It seems like, he's been bending over backwards to do anything to appease Trump. In doing that, he's made a lot of bad blood in the Atlanta metro area, and it's like I said, it's just ironic that the presidential election came around, and the same Atlanta metro area that they have been pissing off is the one that's going to ensure that he stays out.
The Atlanta metro area.
I think he's up how many votes he's up in Pennsylvania again? I can't remember, but there's like 320,000 plus to count. So, and most of those are in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. So,
What state was a
You know how
shocker
that
to
goes.
y'all that Biden won?
A shocker?
Like not a shocker, but like that you didn't expect him to win that state.
None yet.
None yet.
Until these flips do happen, those would be the biggest shockers.
I thought he was
So
gonna
I guess
get. I thought he was
Arizona,
gonna get Florida, but he didn't get it. But I thought he was gonna get it.
but yeah, that Miami jump, that Miami area,
You sound
I don't
distant,
know.
Jake. Like we can barely hear you.
I don't know what happened with that Miami thing, but that is usually not that close. Like he didn't win the votes that Democrats normally win in that area, but I think it's because of that. They said whoever votes for Democrats is voting for a socialist, so maybe they took that and ran with it. There's a
They
lot of
said
commercials down
Hillary had better numbers.
That
down
Miami
there.
market is definitely interesting as well. Just to go into this and go, you go ahead, G. That Miami market is interesting because it's so international and even U.S. citizen international. So you got a lot of Cubans, a lot of other Latinos, and a lot of blacks and whites. It's just a hodgepodge of people. So trying to probably pick that market is you got to do some work because I don't know that Latinos are as democratic as blacks are.
Right.
So that's an interesting market down there.
Y'all
But I
get me
think
right.
how they was explained. Well, like one lady, I guess she's from that area. She's, I guess, Latino. And she's like, I just don't know because I just feel like Biden should have won this area way more than he did. But then she was just like, she was pretty much shell shocked. She was just like, it has to be from them socialists. Was pretty much what she was saying.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's I don't know. From my perspective, it's kind of hard to really like wholeheartedly give your and I can understand like a lot of Americans are kind of like on the fence and they really don't know because this is probably one of the most like just you damned if you do damned if you don't elections probably in recent years because Biden, although Trump's presidency has been, in my opinion, has been terrible, and I would absolutely never want him to get back in the White House again and having a second term. But Joe Biden and Kamala Harris don't have a stellar track record either, as far as their career in politics, and like they made them. I'm only 30, so the bulk of my adulthood has been over the past 10-ish years. But people who are much older than me have probably lived to tell about Joe Biden's, career in politics more than I know about his career in politics. His career in politics has not affected me as much as it has probably my senior. And those individuals that are kind of like soured on his extended career in politics, it's probably hard to sell them on the Joe Biden, especially if they were personally affected by anything that he's done in his career.
Did his run with Obama didn't help?
I mean,
I think he did. I think he did.
I think they say he got better
did.
over time. I guess he started. I don't know, but they say like, I don't know how long ago, but when he was
during the
very
Clinton,
young, he said a few very questionable things.
He said a few questionable things, and he created the criminal bill, the criminal crime bill that primarily focused on putting African American males in prison.
Mm-hmm. And I think if you think about
of it.
I don't know. I'm not intelligent enough to speak on the crime bill. I hadn't looked into it. So.
What did you say? I didn't hear what you said.
I said, what were some of the stipulations of it, if you know any?
That I don't know. I just know that I just know primarily if you look at the demographic that it mainly homed in on and was sending to prison, it was primarily African American males, and it was signed during the Clinton administration. And Joe Biden has went on record saying that that's like his crowning achievement in politics is that bill.
I would say that Joe Biden's been in office, I think, with 47 years. So since 73. I wouldn't imagine that America was less racist in 1973, even whether you're Democratic or Republican. So I would imagine that there were some things that he passed and had his hands in or voted for.
Right.
That wasn't favorable for African American. So just based on his time in office, in political office, I wouldn't expect all of his legislation to be as pro-black as it could or should be.
True.
Especially then.
For today's standards.
True.
Yeah, 'cause it was super bad back then. So yeah. I mean, I don't know, but hopefully, he's better.
Yeah, and I don't believe, like, I mean, we all know with years, none of us in our short time here are the same people or persons that we were when we were younger. You know what I'm saying? So everybody has a chance to redemption and to change their views on shit. So like, I'm not saying that although he may not have a racist past, he can outgrow that and become a better person like anybody can. And also go ahead.
Well, I'm the same person I was since high, Najee.
A punk.
That's not good though. That's not good.
Yes, it is good because
that means you haven't had any growth.
Yeah, you gotta have growth.
I did grow.
Well, you're not the same person then.
You can't be the same person and grow.
No.
Say he changed that, bro. He always real, dog.
Who said that? Who said that?
I mean, logically
who made that rule?
Logically speaking.
I'll challenge that, but go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, he could possibly have changed his views on things and be a better person. Like in Obama, who we all, black community just quote unquote praises, what I'm saying? He did choose him as his running mate. So, I would hope that there was some type of foresight in that. Like, I ain't just picking a random motherfucker to be my vice president.
Are the worst people that change for gaining for themselves? Are they the worst people, or is that people in general?
But I kind of feel like in general, you're gonna kind of do what benefits you or what helps you out. You're gonna try to do what you got to do to make it happen.
In the sense of like, I'm not saying Biden did this, but I'm like, if somebody like was running for president, but back in the day he used to call black people the N-word and all stuff like that. But then now he needs a black vote. He's like, oh, these are my friends. Da 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 da. I respect y'all. Da da da. Like,
I mean, that's just the game of politics. Every politician is an opportunist when it's convenient.
And they all have done something, that's questionable, I guess. But to that extent, it's, I guess, like growing up in that time, I'm sure that you were 100% raised into racism. Well, not 100%, I guess, but a high percent you were raised into racism. Like, you got to think about, he been in politics since what, you said 70?
73.
Yeah.
So he's like 78, so or 77, whatever. I don't know. So that'll make him born when 1940 something.
Yeah. So
so he was born into the time where being racist was like even more popular than it is now, or it was very open back then, even more open than it is at this current time. So his parents, his grandparents, his great grandparents, all these, they might have been slave owners or whatever. So yeah.
But you gotta keep in mind, like I said last week, like black people's ability to vote has only been prevalent for the last 60 years. So, and if he's been in politics for 47 years, he wasn't too far off to the point where we couldn't even vote. And then also, I don't know if y'all watched that video I linked y'all about Mike Rashid was talking about his like views on voting.
Oh, I hadn't.
I think it's a good watch. But he talks about this a lot of this shit in there, and the fact that like black people as a culture are kind of like molded to support the Democratic Party, and that may or may not necessarily be a good thing, because if you look at the like anything in America, because we are African American descendants of slaves, so we did not come over here by choice, and everything stemmed from racism at some point in our history. So just like the Democratic Party said, the Democratic Party was primarily home to the Klan, basically. Like that was the Klan's party of choice. So to go from that culture to primarily blacks support the Democratic Party, it's kind of full circle.
I would wonder, was that the big switch because there was a switch between Democrats and Republicans in their ideologies. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Democrats and Republicans in their ideologies sometime 50s, 60s, 70s range. Sometime in the last 60 years, they basically flipped. So I wonder which version of the Klan did which version of the Democratic Party did the Klan attach to.
Right.
I also was about to say something, but I'm 30 years old and I forget things now.
Probably
Probably up on 31 low key, but that's another story for another day.
You probably was about to say something in regards to Joe Biden's history and politics.
Oh yeah, so they kind of appreciate that. And I wonder, like with Black people, as you talk about Black people being aligned to or being able to vote for the last 60 years, I wonder if the Republicans are missing a huge opportunity with the Black community. Like the Republicans are conservatives, and Black people are generally conservative as well. Black people are largely raised in the church. Largely, this is generalities; it does not cover all. Black people are largely raised in the church on conservative values when it comes to money. We don't like paying taxes and things of that nature. We like following rich people or people that are wealthy, and we're not really for sexual promiscuity or varying sexual thoughts. So that's something that we're still wrapping our brains around. And Christianity is something that the Republican probably ties itself to more strongly than the Democrats do. They are missing a huge opportunity, or have missed a huge opportunity with the Black community. You would think more Black people would be comfortable with being Republican, but the way that 90% of Blacks vote Democratic or have voted Democratic on this in this party is not showing that to be the case. So if the Republicans ever want the Black vote, they can get it. They just don't. They just haven't been able to make inroads. They got to relieve some of their racist ways and some. I'm not going to say racist. Some of the ideologies that are driving away the Black people.
Right.
I still feel like. Oh, go ahead.
No, you got it.
I was about to say that the crazy thing is it probably still would be close because I think a lot of times people don't really look at the policies. They just vote for what they know or what they always know. So they would probably just still vote Democrat just because that's how they were raised. I guess. Completely
agree. But for it to be 90%, you don't have to get to 50%. Get to 85%. Get to 80%. Work your way down. That's one of the things that the Republicans have failed on. That 90%, based on the election polls, 90% of Black people are voting Democratic.
Yeah, and I like that that angle that Taryn took with it because. Like anything, as a child, regardless of your race, regardless of your background, your belief, your ethnicity, whatever, your nationality, whatever the case may be, your beliefs and largely how you go through life is going to be based off of how you were raised. It's going to be, I would say, a great percentage of how you were raised, and then the other half is how you live your life after adulthood. To tie it back to what Taryn said, a lot of people's religious beliefs was inherited, not necessarily researched and decided on their own. Same with their political views. If my family grew up as this particular party's supporter, that's all I've ever been exposed to, there's a good chance I may end up being a supporter of that party blindly without necessarily ever researching why I support this particular party, or even if that particular party's views align with my own. So, and what I'm saying, like I said, you could pay that towards or religion as well, because like a lot of people just they inherit religion. They don't necessarily go out and actually see if that's something that they necessarily want to attach to. So, so with that being said, going back to what Seth said, that may be the case. Like a lot of the Republicans' views may actually align with a lot of the community views and the trials and tribulations that the Blacks go through on a daily basis. But because of negative connotations that have been attached with the Republican Party over the last decade or so, it kind of forces them to go to the other side.
But the crazy thing, it's probably the same way for Republicans as well. Like a lot of people that vote Republican just vote Republican, probably vote. Like if you ask some Republicans why they don't like a Democratic candidate, or they just gonna say I just hate them, or I don't like them, but they would never really specify why, or like why, or why don't you like this person? Like what did this person do that you don't like? They just like for Barack, like they're like I hate him, but you can ask them why, and they would never say why.
That one might be a little bit more obvious as to why they might hate him.
Right. I was just using an example because he was the last Democratic president.
And I think a lot of people nowadays they view politics incorrectly. They listen, like I just said, they listen to their particular party of choice, and they take everything they say as law. And if their party is bashing the other side, then all they do is say what Taryn just said. I don't know why I dislike the other side besides what I've been told by the side that I'm paying full attention to. If I would actually change my perception of politics just a tad bit and actually listen to what both sides have to offer, because at the end of the day, politics is to appeal to society. I'm a part of this party. I'm a part of this party. I'm telling you our agendas and our plans to make society better. And me as a part of the society picks which side I want to align my allegiance to, not solely by a blood vow with this one organization and then never listen to the other side again.
Right.
But
yeah.
I mean, tough topic.
My takeaway is open your eyes, do your own thinking. Don't always listen to CNN or Fox.
Just listen to CNN.
Moderate your sources. Find some more neutral, ABC, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, and they can be a little lenient too. But yeah.
So to kind of segue, well, I'm gonna
You said WAPO?
You said who?
Did you say WAPO?
No, I said to kind of segue.
I thought Todd said it, but go ahead.
Oh, what? I don't know if Todd said it.
No, I was eating something. Sorry.
But I'm about to segue something, but I want to hear the small topic before we actually go there. Well, I guess I can segue off of this into my next topic. But I kind of said this last week, but I just want to reiterate again this week that there's a difference between a Republican and a Trump supporter. They are two completely different entities. I can be a Republican and not necessarily support Trump, and I can support Trump, not necessarily be a Republican. I think a Trump supporter is a entity that has been created that he is basically at this point just a symbol to enable a certain community of people to do whatever they want to without fear of consequence, whereas a Republican is a individual that supports the Republican Party and support their views and actually cares about their, like I said, political beliefs. I do not believe that they are the same. I just believe that Trump elected to be a part or to represent the Republican Party while also having a belief, or not belief, but a supporting cast of Trump supporters that support his every move in the Republican Party. Because I was telling Taryn earlier today before the pod that if and when he gets out of office, well, this could actually be the segue that I was just about to, one of the segues I was going to get to. I saw this clip on Instagram yesterday when my friends posted it. I know that y'all seen bits and pieces of clips like this recently, but there'd be like beyond the what do they call it, like behind enemy lines type of interviews where they would like go to like these dangerous quote unquote locations to interview terrorists or
and they black out their face and mask and deep
like gang lords and this, that, and the third, and it would be like on not CNN, but it'd be like on NBC or whatever. You see like behind the enemy lines, whatever. So I saw a clip from a new one, allegedly, where they were going to somewhere in Virginia. It was the Trump supporters, like extreme Trump supporters, and they were all militarized out. They were shooting targets in the woods. You saw all the guns and weapons that they had. He had like a four-wheeling off-road vehicle that he was talking about mounting a gun on, and they was talking about, yeah, if Trump loses election, we're going to war, this, that, and the third. And this is more so what I was referring to as a Trump supporter. Like, this is not somebody that necessarily supports the Republican Party. This is somebody who is a radical that radically supports this one individual, and by hell or high water, like, if this individual is not in office, they still support this individual. And to kind of like give y'all the floor after this, the thing that I have a problem with this is, more so than anything, is just America allowing something like this to happen, because I understand that this is like a journal, like journalism is finest, where they're going behind enemy lines, whatever, and they're interviewing this dangerous group of people, whatever. But the way I view this as a citizen, I'm more so a African-American citizen in this country, is you have this group of people that said they are basically domestic terrorists, and they said, if this guy doesn't win, they're going to use all these arms of military grade weapons and go out and actually harm people. Is this not opportunity enough to put them behind bars now? Like, why do I have to wait for the shit to happen and then try to detain them? Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
I think, yes, it's crazy for one that's a thought process.
Right.
But I think they may be being tracked, but I think we can have this could be a podcast show in itself. Let me just say that. But the fact that you have this level of people, this is my immediate response. The fact that you have these people, and they're so populated, they're so highly, it's a lot of them.
Yeah.
A copious amount of these
motherfuckers. So the fact that there's so many of them, that they infiltrate all different walks of life, I think you have to have a strong case you got to build a case. Like, just like FBI has terrorist watch groups and they know where sales are, and they hadn't run up in those sales yet, it's a similar thing with that. Like, they may be on watch groups and they may be planning and things of that nature, but they may not have done enough or anything like that to justify justify arrest or detaining or anything like that. That's my immediate thought.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I agree with that. It's just more so just the fact that you literally have them on film saying, if he lose, we're going to go out here and cause shit. So, like,
I would say they could use it in reverse. A lot of rappers talk about what they, who they killed and what drugs they sold and all that good stuff, how many illegalities they how many laws that they've broken. And like, man, they have it right here. They've said it. This, So,
right. I guess if they do it, it'll be premeditated. So I guess the charge would be greater there because it's out there.
I'm by no means defending that thought. What I will say about what you're talking about, Najee, though, is that what Trump has shown is that, and I'm not going to go into a long eulogy about this, but Trump has shown that there's a lot of people in America who feel like they have not been heard for a while now. They may align that to the plight that the Black community has gone through, and there may be some common ground that we can find out of that. But there's a lot of people who feel like they are not heard in this political talk, and this rich people's talk, and this talk of highly educated people and things of that nature, and they just want somebody who speaks to them. And no matter how rich Trump is, and the laws that he's implemented, or how outlandish some of the stuff that comes out of his mouth, most of the stuff that comes out of his mouth, he's been able to find alignment with a group of people that are very vocal here in America, and that's going to be something to watch going forward.
All right. And to speak on that, about all Republicans aren't Trump supporters, I think it was like maybe Arizona, and I think they were saying that he got like 88% of the Republican vote, because some Republicans voted Democrat. However, I do believe every Trump supporter is a Republican, but that's another story for another day.
You got any input, Tosh?
I mean, I agree to the sense that when you say not every Republican is a Trump supporter, but when Taryn just said, when I hear it, I just think automatically like they support Trump, you know. But in a sense, because it's like, if you're not a Trump supporter, but he's running in the Republican Party, do you not vote?
So,
Or
some of them voted Dem.
Huh?
And some of them voted Democratic. And I think some of them would rather their party win than Trump not win. So
right.
It's party over people in some respects, party over the person in some respects.
That's what I'm saying. So in that sense, you're just like, well, since he's running for our party, we're just gonna vote for him anyway.
So
Mike Rashid, I'm not a fan of him, but he's just gonna vote for him.
So Mike Rashid had I don't think there's a good answer for this question. But Mike Rashid had his view on it. I'm not necessarily saying it's the right view, because like I said, it's a frustrating. I understand why some people have like anxiety, election anxiety, because it makes sense. Like this could probably drive somebody crazy. They just sit there and just think about it all day. But Mike Rashid had a view on it, and his view was that he wasn't going to vote for either. Which, like I said, that's not necessarily fixing anything. It's not necessarily breaking anything. But he said that his vote would go towards everything local, the people that he can see and that actually affect his day-to-day, like on the state level and the city level. He said as far as the presidential election goes, he wasn't voting, but he was still voting for everything, like the House of Representatives and stuff like that. So
and that it's another story for another day too, because don't get me started on Alabama right now. But
right. But to kind of piggyback on the previous topic about the whole Trump supporter thing, I think that damn, I lost my train of thought. I think that shoot, I can't remember.
You talking about like voting for your party over the people? Is that what you was leaning towards, Najee?
That's pretty much what the Senate did. The Senate race in Alabama, they pretty much did that. Because I mean, I don't mind that they vote Republican, but make it make sense.
Right.
Like, what is it? 0 political experience? Maybe? I don't know. How much experience did he have?
I mean,
0.
Being a head coach of
then he had no policy. I don't think he talked about any policy or anything of that nature.
His policy was Donald Trump.
But
that was his policy.
Yeah, and I'm speaking ignorantly when I say this, because I don't know what this would actually affect and what doors this would close for any people that would actually benefit from this role. But by me saying this, but I wish that there was a minimum level of political experience before you can get in a certain seat of politics. So like,
I thought that this whole time growing up.
I think typically that's usually how it works, but here recently it's been a little different.
So you got to be some type of governor, something. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's how people like AOC got in the office. She has no political affiliation before being a House Representative. Tommy Tuberville in Alabama just got it and won his seat without having. There's some concern. Yeah, I definitely understand the point, because look, I gotta have years of experience in XYZ to get a job at XYZ company. Right. So I understand.
The ex-football coach, is that you talking about?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
But like for something like that, you should at least have some local form of power.
So they voted for him because he can he was used to be able to coach, so he can coaching he can be.
He beat Alabama.
Wow.
Yep, that's pretty much what happened. But
the world we live in.
But I can't remember what I was about to say, so I have to go to the next topic. So since we're kind of still on the topic of the election and all that stuff, I have a question that kind of just like epiphany I had, and then I wanted to ask to the group. Do you guys think that states not allowing early votes or early voting is a form of voter suppression?
In these times?
Yes.
But I feel like if they would have made everybody go to the polls, we would still be out there now. How slow, like, because they like try to maintain social distancing, so they letting certain people in at a time, and then you got to sit more spread out than normal, and you got to make sure you 6 feet away when you're in line. So it would have took, the polls would not have been able to close at, let's just say 7 o'clock. There was no way that they would have been able to get those folks out of there.
Right.
So they struggled. So yes.
So do you think that? Go ahead.
Yeah. So I was like states like Alabama that don't allow you to do early voting. You have to wait until the day of the election.
No, we had early vote.
Somebody told me that y'all didn't.
No, they classified it under like absentee ballot or mail-in ballots or something like that. But you were able to vote early in Alabama.
I know y'all was able to do absentee ballots as a form of early voting.
Yeah, I believe some people, they just say you had to go somewhere, but I didn't really look into it because I just wanted to be out there on Tuesday. Just
just in general, like states that don't allow early voting, do you view that as a form of voter suppression?
I feel like you're making it harder, and I don't know why. Let me say it that way. I don't know if this is going to qualify as voter suppression, but I think the voting process should be as easy as it can. And early voting for me, like I vote up here in every election, early vote, and it's easy because there's no lines. You can go at a time that's convenient for you, at a location that's convenient for you. You're not limited to just your neighborhood place that you would vote at. You can vote at any early polling location. So I don't know why you would make it harder to vote.
Thinking that on the flip side, if I'm only allowed to vote here on this day when I know the line is going to be hours long, mm-hmm. I can see that. I can see that deterring people from wanting to vote.
Right.
Yeah. I just would. I don't want to just jump off that cliff and say that is voter suppression. I'm not that.
Right. I'm not saying that it like seem like so wholeheartedly is, but I can see it as being like a form of.
Yeah, I've seen. I think there have been more obvious voter suppression tactics, and this still could fall under the more, passive. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, because Georgia has had no shortage of voter suppression tactics in the last year leading up to the election.
But I guess it's bad because the mail-in votes, quote unquote, or early votes, they're feeling like that people are lying. The Republican part, some people of the Republican Party are like, yeah, those votes shouldn't count. Those votes are fake. But there's like no, I guess, proof. They just like saying they're just off the strength of, they just feel like since it's flipping, there has to be illegal activities going on, and I don't think that's a good look.
How can you say don't count a vote that was more than likely submitted before the election just because they're taking their sweet ass time to count it? That has nothing to do with my ability to vote. That's just them counting it late.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, and you're gonna have some rational speaking or some like-minded thinking on this podcast. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's just stupid.
But I think if we normalized early voting and we were confident in that process, then it would be less questionable, if you will.
Okay. So I guess this is the real issue. The real issue with mail-in voting is most of the people who do mail-in voting are going to be Democrat, or they're going to be Democratic votes. And once you start tallying those votes, after you've counted all the votes from the poll, and you see such huge changes, they automatically think something's wrong, because how come none of these mail-in votes are Republican or, whatever. So, but it's wrong because their vote just like, they voted just like, you voted in person. Everybody voted the same way, filled the same ballot, whatever. They did what they had to do. But just because it's leaning heavily towards, one side, and you knew that was going to be the case from the jump, why is the party complaining about it now? You know what I mean?
So let's get into the meat and potatoes, man. This is a question that the people want to. This is the question that people want answer to.
We haven't been on meat and potatoes yet.
No. This is the question that the people want the answer to. Why? I ain't gonna say why. Do you think that it makes sense to still have paper ballots versus some type of electronic system where you could just vote anywhere. Because
2020?
Yeah, because the scary is it could be hacked and the votes can be manipulated, this, that, and the third. Motherfucker, we are writing pen to paper. You telling me that shit is foolproof with some type of hex cipher on it that's gonna stop a motherfucker from hacking it? Nigga,
That's how I be.
Pen to paper.
I be wondering, like, how did they be losing votes and losing stuff like that? Like, how did they paying people doing the postal services to grab ballots?
I don't know, but like with the postal service, they've been super busy, and I can get like maybe why, like even with like just a simple Amazon package, they'll get lost. So I can see why something would get lost, but if it's an alarming rate, then there might be an issue there, or late.
In the year of our Lord 2020, I feel like there should be a way easier way of voting. I should be able to log into some secure site, secure can be whatever that looks like, and place my vote and be done to it. And then the option is I can go in somewhere and click a screen and vote. Because even in North Carolina, we have like an electronic thing, but you go up there, they enter a paper ticket, you push the buttons on the screen, it spits out who you voted for in the paper, and then you submit the paper back into a ballot counter. So it's semi-electronic, but better than writing pieces of pen on paper.
I feel it in bubbles.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, bro. Oh, go ahead, say.
I was about to like kind of wrap it up again and say and rehash. I feel like you should be able to vote. I should be able to log onto a website, verify that it's me through two-factor authentication or whatever that looks like, and then place my vote and be done with it.
Birthday and social security numbers, so I don't know.
Something like that. Yeah.
Like the IRS website, perfect example.
Like I was just about to say that. The fact that I log onto the IRS website every year, and there's probably little more sensitive information than what they're carrying. And you look at your tax returns. So
I feel like the IRS, way more sensitive information. I guess I would imagine.
Right.
Because it got how much money you made with your social security number and your birthday, all that. So,
but I think it may be in the sense of the voting when you talk about, because we've talked about Russian influence and Chinese influence and all that good stuff. The voting turnouts of American politics is world changing. I don't know if Jimmy's social and $10,000 he has in his account really counts for care. They don't care about that in China.
Right.
Yeah. True.
But I don't know. Like, it's one of those topics that you probably never get an answer to, because there's no way you can convince me that a paper ballot is more secure than an electronic system. Like
they feel like they can hack the electronic system.
Motherfucker, I can make duplicates of this ballot. 10,000 duplicates of this ballot that say Donald Trump. It's a minute.
Or somebody can blatantly lose it. Like if let's just say it's a black postal worker. I'm just going to go play against my own thoughts. Let's say it's a black postal worker picking up from an all-white community, or a largely community that they don't agree with. They know what a ballot looks like. They can take all those ballots, throw them things in the trash, and go on about their day.
Right.
So now you have a large swath of people that whose ballots just didn't get counted because one person was
right.
Yeah.
Right. And if there's a bigger play on that, like shit could just go, oh, never got those ballots. So
yeah. So maybe there should be some type of redundant system where you log in as you log in online electronic. It mails you a confirmation that you submitted or something like that, and then
you get like
that confirmation on top.
Yeah, like anything else in the world, you get a confirmation number.
Right, something like that.
I don't know. It's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
But I guess if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah,
it needs fixing.
This shit broke.
It needs fixing. Like, I know y'all seen the post where they like all these thousands and thousands of dead people that don't voted somehow, and how the number of registered voters and the number of people who actually voted don't align and shit like that. Like, don't make sense.
But if you hear anybody talk about it, who they gonna say did it?
They gonna say, well, right now they gonna say Democrats did it.
Them liberals.
All right, so to kind of like wrap things up, I want to jump on our last topic. Probably be a spicy one, but in late I don't even know how I want to say this. Recently in news, we've all seen the posts of all these different African American celebrities and entertainers or whatever, getting giving the nod to the Republican Party out of personal gain, the this, that, and the third, being labeled as the token black person to try to get more votes. Everybody from 50 Cent to so on and so forth. But the one that I particularly want to talk about today is Lil Wayne. I have personally been on this podcast many a times calling Kanye exactly what he is, or what I believe him to be. But
get on your guy.
But because I talk about Kanye so much, I don't want to make it seem like I'm giving Lil Wayne the pass. So the topic I want to bring to the table is, does Lil Wayne get a pass for his recent
allegations? We're gonna go with that.
Allegations, in the news, and I'll bring them up so the people that are listening, if they don't know, they can be filled in. So the first one is, of course, that he was filmed, or not filmed, he was photographed with Donald Trump being his latest supporter to his campaign, the platinum package or whatever they're calling it. That's supposed to be some type of so on and so forth package for black people. And Lil Wayne was photographed as endorsing the Trump campaign. And then also in recent news, Lil Wayne's girlfriend, I don't know what her name is, but he's been with her for quite a while. It just came out recently that Lil Wayne broke up with her because she was preaching or reaching out to people, telling them to get out and go vote. And
he broke up with her, or she broke up with him?
So the original news that broke is that she broke up with him because he was a Trump supporter. Like he openly started endorsing the Trump campaign. But she went on Instagram Live recently and told her side of the story, in which case she said that she didn't break up with him at all. In actuality, he broke up with her because she was trying to tell people to get out and go vote.
Interesting. There's always three sides of the story: her side, his side, and the truth.
Right. But with all this information, how do you guys view Lil Wayne as of late?
Did Kanye ever join Trump's party or his package?
He had a MAGA hat on, bro.
Did he ever join the package club, the platinum club? I just want to ask that question. Is it ever said that he joined the platinum or endorsed Trump?
I mean, he might as well.
No, not really. Not really. Like I say, he could have been infiltrating. He could have been trying
My
to
thing
go.
Is, maybe. I'm not saying that he did, and I'm not saying
all of these are allegations, allegedly.
Maybe Ice Cube reached out to him and told him to go talk to him about the plan. Because I think that Ice Cube may have talked to him first about this plan.
Lil Wayne?
No, talk to Donald.
Yeah. He proposed the plan to him in the first place, allegedly.
And maybe
who proposed it?
Talked to Ice Cube.
Ice Cube
first before he went to go talk to Trump, or maybe he seen what they talked about and I guess agreed, kind of liked it, even though, it may or may not be true, or it may or may not happen, or whatnot. He viewed if Ice Cube could go talk to him about it, and he maybe viewed Ice Cube as someone who could really make it happen. He might have wanted to just go see what it was about. Maybe.
So is Cube a supporter as well?
No, so the background on that is Ice Cube was, I guess, part of, I don't know if he was part of committee or whatever, but an individual that I guess got together this platinum plan, as they're calling it, to support African descendants of slaves in America. And it's supposed to be a $500 billion plan to support, like I said, Black African-American descendants of slaves, their communities, this, that, and the third. And they proposed it to both parties. But the Trump campaign saw an opportunity, so they jumped on it, and they got out, reached out to Ice Cube, and then they started playing token black person, and started like putting Ice Cube name all over Twitter, this, that, and the third, saying Ice Cube supports our party, this, that, and the third. Ice Cube then rebutted and said, no, I'm not a part of the, I'm not supporting the party at all. I'm proposing a plan to help black people, and this party happened to reach out to me saying that they could make it happen.
Can this be kind of like in line with Jay-Z with the NFL?
Yeah,
in a sense.
Kind of.
You kind of in a sense. And then, like I said, recently, Lil Wayne just outwardly said that he was supporting the Trump campaign. Ice Cube never said he was supporting the Trump campaign. However, Lil Wayne did.
Yeah, he can't get a pass.
I would expect 100% of a population to be one side or the other. I've talked about this the last couple of weeks. We are more complex of people than that. I want us to give ourselves credit for being that. Although we vote 90-10 Democrat, there is the 10. The 10 will always be there, and there's always going to be black people that that are Republicans or that have some crazy, and I don't mean to say crazy because that's discrediting.
Different.
Yeah, they have different views than your own. I'm not going to take you to fire for that necessarily, because some people are going to just be who they are. But I'm not a fan of Wayne and the way he's handled this and how he's come out about this. I ain't for it.
It's so different. Yeah, it's different because, like, as you guys can remember, several years ago, probably 2006, 2005-ish, he dropped a mixtape. There was a song in there called, what was it called?
F. George Bush or
somebody, Georgia Bush.
Georgia Bush.
Mm-hmm.
And, he was very openly talking about his distaste for, George Bush in a sense. And,
Didn't he get slack not too long ago for saying like all lives matter or something like that?
Not necessarily that.
He was talking about and basically said that Black Lives Matter. He don't align with that. Essentially,
because he's saying his life matters. He's a rich alpha in America. Yeah, you'll have to listen to it.
Yeah, we talked about it last week. He basically was oblivious to what Black Lives Matter even was. So, like I said, but go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, but my opinion, I don't think he deserved a pass if he's doing that. That's just my opinion.
So, do you get Kanye a pass?
We don't.
That's another subject.
No, we don't know. He said he's endorsing Trump.
Yeah, I was just asking the question. I was just asking the question. But
if he's endorsing, I can't give him a pass.
But he ran against Trump. You know what I'm saying? He ran on his own platform, so clearly he didn't endorse him.
So
thank you. I appreciate it for the help.
Yeah.
So the way I feel about it, like I have a history of being a huge Lil Wayne fan. Like Lil Wayne was my favorite rapper.
Tells me a lot about your character.
Period. For many years. He's not anymore. It's not because it's just he fell off. But
rapper with Travis Scott now.
No.
Drake.
Probably close. It's J. Cole. It'd probably be a close second would be Drake. But so like so I still respected Wayne as a musician. But like I said, his recent antics, I'll call them, has kind of made me feel different about Wayne, because when I first heard this, I wasn't surprised at all, because nowadays Lil Wayne, from my view of Lil Wayne, because I don't know Lil Wayne personally at all, so I don't know his characteristics. I don't know him as a person. I don't know his mannerisms or anything about him. I just know what he puts out to the public and how I perceive to envision him being. That individual to me has changed over the years. And it's coming for us full circle to go back to what we originally started the podcast with when we was talking to Taj about growth and people changing over the years. My perception of who Wayne is has changed over the years. The Wayne that I grew to love and know as a young child is not the Wayne of today. So the Wayne from before, I probably could not envision doing something like this. But the Wayne of today, it does not surprise me at all.
My question for you, Najee, you know me, cut you off. Do you delete all his music out of your iTunes?
Nah. I mean, I don't really listen to Wayne anyway. Like Wayne is, of course, all over my Apple Music, but I don't really listen to Wayne for real nowadays. Like I listen to like a lot of R&B and shit. So,
okay.
But
because I need that same energy you have for Kanye. I need that. I need deleted. I need all that deleted. I need purged.
I ain't delete none of the Kanye shit. Like I got the Kanye albums that I bought on my phone.
He just won't download any of his.
Yeah, I haven't listened to the last new album I listened to Kanye was Graduation or 808s and Heartbreaks, whichever one came out last of those two.
You didn't listen to Dark Twisted Fantasy?
No.
Hey, that's
Stop listening to Kanye. Stop listening to Kanye. Like I hadn't listened to an album after that.
I don't even think he was that bad. Man.
That crazy then, yeah, he wasn't.
Stop listening to Kanye after that. But no, like I said, this doesn't surprise me at least in the least. And the way I view this more than anything is I view this as Wayne being a Trump supporter more than a Republican Party member, because he openly coming out at the end of the election or during the election at the most important time when people are actually voting to give his personal sign of approval for Donald Trump by taking a picture with him saying, I support Trump during the election, like during the actual voting. Like that's the ultimate coon move in my eyes, that like I'm giving my stamp of approval. So like people who I influence will go out and vote for him. That's how I view that.
That was a money grab. They paid.
He probably don't.
He got some money for that.
So like I can't
He
defend
probably
that.
don't know what's going on, or he probably oblivious to what's going on too, knowing him.
Yeah,
I don't think he has been sober in
decades.
Ever, maybe since he was.
I feel like he think I'm Lil Wayne. I might get a little backlash at the end of the day. I'm Lil Wayne. Y'all not gonna do nothing to me. That's how
I definitely think Taj. He thinks he's above.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah,
but if any celebrity or any popular or celebrity, any person with a bit of fame, let me say that, will tell you, especially nowadays, nobody's immune to getting canceled. Not saying that Lil Wayne is about to get canceled, but no one is immune to it.
This is my question for these other celebrities and artists out here that have so much respect for Wayne. How hard are they gonna go at him? Because certain celebrities, they go hard at it. They kill Kanye, all that stuff. Kanye. But how much are you gonna say that about Lil Wayne?
I don't know. Like people like Pusha T has already been going at them, but
Pusha T never liked them.
Right.
Yeah, because celebs I like the question you're asking there, Todd, because it's celebs, rappers. Like in the rap community, that's a tight knit community in the sense that it's small. The amount of rappers who have the influence that Lil Wayne does, you probably can name 20, maybe. Right. And I'm not saying equal level of Lil Wayne. I'm talking about like some rappers. Yeah, exactly. So it'd be interesting to see like who takes him to task, or do they have enough of a opinion in the matter to even question him. So one of the people he's been running with lately, or the last maybe 5 years, has been 2 Chainz.
2 Chainz, exactly.
2 Chainz is basically, he was on the he was helping promote Biden and Kamala, Biden and Harris, the Biden and Harris ticket. They were at a rally in Atlanta. He was there, met Obama. He performed a little bit, spoke on the mic, and all of that good stuff. But he hadn't mentioned Lil Wayne's name, and he also just performed with him on the Hip Hop Awards as well for the new song that they have out.
See, that's my thing. That's my thing. Why are y'all gonna keep that same energy when it comes to certain people? So that means, are you not real? J. Cole? That's what I'm saying. Is J. Cole going? If he went out of Wayne, not Wayne, Kanye and all that stuff, with wearing the MAGA hat and all that stuff, that he need to do the same thing. Is it?
Song dropping soon.
Do you put your relationship aside because, or do you over your belief? You know what I'm saying?
And that's interesting, Taj, with Wayne, because J. Cole, because he also just went at an activist this summer, made a song about it.
A lot of backlash about it.
Yeah, exactly. But he called her out, and so now he's quiet, sitting on his hands when it comes to one of your peers. And this girl's not even your peer, and you questioning her in a rap song and all that. So yeah, that's a good point.
But I think it was like he was trying to say that. Well, how he said it, he was trying to ask like, what more can we do? Like, you should be asking what more we should be doing instead of, I guess she was talking, I guess, down in his opinion. I don't know, but saying that we should be doing more, but not really help explain how we could do more. Maybe just saying we should do more, but not really saying how. And they took it and ran with it. But I don't really think from when I heard the song, I don't really think he was dissing her much. But I guess everybody interprets things differently.
And granted, the Wayne thing just kind of happened not too long ago, so like a lot of the backlash from his quote unquote peers probably hadn't hit the fan yet. Because I think it's coming. I think it should, because even like you said, they happened during the election. This is where everybody's more on social media saying things now than anything.
I would also wonder how many people are scared to say something about Lil Wayne.
Exactly.
I mean, 50 Cent even said something. So he's like, 50 Cent said, "What?" He said, "Dang, bro, you took a picture with him? That's crazy. Like, I would never do nothing like that." Or some junk.
But that's what I'm saying. What did he say? Is what you say. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you calling him out his name? No, I'm saying, like, are you, as 50, are you calling him out his name? Or are you saying something like against it, but it's real subtle, so it's not really going
search 50 Cent on
make him feel so crazy that he gonna have to come back at you.
So
I have a device to do it.
I'm finna search it. But one person I'm interested to see if and when they come at Lil Wayne and what they may or may not say is T.I. Because the reason why I say that is because one, T.I. and Lil Wayne has a long history. They have been close in the past, close friends in the past. Their ex-wives / baby mamas are best friends. And Toya and Tiny, to this day, they're still best friends. Whereas T.I. and Lil Wayne have had a good friendship in the past. I don't think that they're necessarily as close nowadays because they did fall out about something. I can't remember what it was, but they fell out about something.
Movement, I think. Yeah, I think he called him out for the Black Lives Matter movement.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. So they fell off around that time. They're not like really close from what I know, just watching Outside In anymore. And I know how hard T.I. went at Kanye for being a Trump supporter. So that's I'm curious if any of his peers, how T.I. will if he at all will lash out at Lil Wayne, how he will view this and lash out.
T.I. killing me because he was at Sunday service when Kanye was here. So I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, he dragged him about that too, though.
But why'd you go? That's support. No matter how.
I guess he was trying to give him a second chance. I don't know.
Oh, well, you need to find out, Tan. Call your boy. Find out what's good. Call Clifford and find out what's up.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how rappers and celebrity community respond. But I also don't know what. Someone may just be like, look, that's his political affiliation. I'm not about to touch it because he do.
It is what it is.
He ain't saying anything disparaging against me or say anything outlandish against his own people. It was just, hey, this is who I align with. So
yeah,
I don't know.
50 Cent said, "Oh no, Lil Wayne. Excuse me. Oh no, Wayne. I would never have took a picture." And then that was it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's basically saying in that, I'm guessing, Wayne, if that's what you want to do, go ahead and do that. Just don't take no pictures.
Right, because he ain't saying don't agree with him. I don't agree with anything he said. Like, I just wouldn't take a picture.
I just wanted to take the picture. Like, in our status of what we do in our careers and how we move, don't take no pictures. If you want to support that man, do that behind locally. That's what I took from that.
But that's what you're supposed to do anyways, in a sense. But, you know, it is.
Why you say supposed to?
Get him.
I'm just asking.
But, I'm talking about, me. Well, that's what I always been taught. You don't talk about politics. You just don't talk about politics. That's what
you just low key endorse the wrong people.
I don't understand how we can have political affiliations in the country and not talk about politics. How we can have this open race and then not talk about it. Like that doesn't lead to understanding from one side to the other, more or less feeling like the unity that we need as a country to be able to get shit done anyway. I understand why that's a thought.
Right.
Don't talk about politics because it's so divisive and you get into arguing and stuff like that. Like I don't want to talk about politics at work, but
Maybe
to not talk about politics at all, I think is like, why not? Like, because that's a major part of being an American is the democratic process.
It should be time.
Well, I guess I don't know. It's just like, yes, you can talk about it. Like, I don't know. I guess you can.
Because it's also
let me put it with. I guess.
Let me put it in a different light. One of the things that America also has not talked about is race, and we see where that has led us. We don't talk about race and the issues that come with that. We are just now starting to have a very open race conversation in America in 2020 because we were in a global pandemic and the world saw George Floyd's neck get kneeled on. That's the only reason we're having this open discussion about race right now that still to this day led to no action or little action. So I question why the hell we're not talking about shit.
I feel like
that's not a Q-tan. That's not a Q-tan.
Right. I guess we can.
I feel like people should.
I think
we'd probably be further and in America if we did have these conversations openly about race and politics.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we should.
I don't know.
We should have the same way a company has a town hall meeting. You should have town hall meetings within your city, your state, or whatever the case may be, where these topics could be brought to the table.
Yeah.
You can openly talk about politics because that is the moment and opportunity where we're saying, all right, we're opening the door. Get it off your chest.
And I think people know that if they do have that, some people are not going to be friends at the end of that conversation. It's not necessarily going to be enemies, but at the same time, they're going to look at each other a little bit different because they're like, oh, is that really how you
That's
feel?
What I'm saying. It may get like the last time that I remember talking about politics with an outsider, I was almost ready to fight.
But you know where they stand though. That's the thing though. You know where they stand. So when if anything it's nothing going to shock you now.
I ain't like being like that though.
But people do have drastically different views when it comes to certain topics. So like a level of frustration can occur with individuals just because you think differently from me. I want you to think the same as me, but we literally have two different ways of living that translate to two different ways of viewing things.
I don't even think it was that. It was just irrational. Like that's what it led down. I don't care about what. It's cool. I'm cool with how you think. That's fine. But if you get irrational with it, and then you start, like just talking crazy, and I was like you kind of coming at me, and I ain't feeling this.
Right.
Yeah.
Slap him.
Yeah. And also, just like there's levels of thought to. Democrat, Republican, Christianity, and any other religion or not, or atheist or whatever, go on and so forth. There's also levels of comfortability with having this conversation. Like some people are like, hey, don't talk about politics. And some people are like, hey, we should be talking about politics. So there's range of views, but my opinion through that is clearly I'm pro talking about it, but how are we going to get anywhere if we're not talking about it? We're only going to be cocooned amongst people who are like-minded to us, which is an issue already. This is why Donald Trump got 62 million votes or 59, however many you got. That's because there have been these people who feel like they haven't been heard.
I feel like those two topics go hand in hand because it's like I feel like in the Black community we can talk about politics and race to each other, but it's that line between the Blacks and the white that they won't talk about politics or race. So I feel
like once you start talking about politics, you gonna start. It's going to
go into race,
almost to a sense, become race oriented, very much so. And then I'm going, people respond to stuff differently. Like if you coming at me in person,
so it's
I
like
might
it's
respond
not
differently if you say something crazy on Twitter.
Yes.
So it's not like talk politics within your company mostly or in general whatnot, because it's basically saying if you're Black, don't talk to the white people about it. If you're white, don't talk to the Black people about it because y'all gonna go against it.
I don't even think it's that. It's like you can have. I feel like you can have those conversations with some people and be okay with knowing why they do this or why you do that. But I don't think it's a conversation to have that you can have with everybody and still remain level-headed. If that makes sense.
Yeah. And I think when you talk about that line between politics and racism or race, and one of the things I talked about in one of the opening podcast episodes we did in the summer is that there's been no system in America that has been unaffected by racism. Right. So politics be damned. Everything has racism in it here in America, and I think that's part of the reason why that those conversations overlap so thoroughly.
All right. So something funny. I just remember what I wanted to say way early in the pod when I said I completely lost my train of thought. So I'm gonna say it. So and then we could go ahead and wrap things up. But me and Terry had a conversation earlier about, and we also had this conversation last week about if we felt as if it would be worse or better as far as like how the Trump supporters would react. If it would be worse or better if Trump won, how they would react versus if Trump lost, how they would react. I've been on the record as saying that I think it would be worse if he won, whereas he says that he thinks it'd be worse if they lost. And that's the reason why I say this, and to kind of go back to kind of shine light on the video that's I watched where they was preparing, militarizing up just in case he lost this and the third. Although that is bad, the reason why I feel like it would be worse if he won is that the difference, I think, in those two scenarios of, I think that that's inevitable. I think that they will do some shit like that regardless. What I think the difference is if he wins and they go militarize up and do whatever the fuck they want to, there's no consequence that will be tied to their action. Whereas if he lose, that's part of why they feel so offended about him losing, is because now I cannot necessarily go out and do whatever the fuck I want to without any consequence being tied to it. Because I feel as if, like, once again, Donald Trump is a symbol to certain individuals in this country that as long as I support him, I can get away with doing whatever I want to with no consequence. I can be the real person that I feel that I hide on the inside, because now I have a head of state, commander-in-chief that supports my actions. Whereas if I don't have a commander-in-chief that supports my action and that looks down on me doing such things, I can't necessarily get away with these things, and it threatens my existence of him being in office.
I don't know, because I feel like where most of this stuff is happening is gonna happen regardless, because that area, they don't really punish you for doing like that particular area. That stuff been happening for years. It's gonna continue happening, whether it's, Democrat or Republican. But I feel you. They probably feel more empowered to do it, maybe. But I feel like they may have doing it in those areas, but they may have not been talking about it as much, or we may not have been following as much since, all that has happened, I guess, over the duration of the last 4 years.
I think the worst outcome is probably what we end up having is Trump possibly losing in a close election, and he dragging this out, and it become highly, legalized and going back to the courts and things of that nature. It's still providing him a level of legitimacy. Him, not even just him, the ideology of Trump, that whole thing is giving him some substantial ground to stand on. So even when he goes out of office, he still has followers and people that he can, I hate to use this word, mobilize to continue to have relevancy. And there's be people who continue to think like he thinks that are out, that are there. I think if he had just got landslided, that would kind of suppress some of that thought. But also will not say like what you don't want to do is suppress U.S. citizens' thoughts, because they are American citizens. That's not the true American idea, to be able to suppress somebody's feelings. So
I agree with that, and I totally agree with that. Like if it was a landslide, then it probably wouldn't be that. But now that it's close and he's gonna, like you said, drag it out, he's gonna do whatever he got to do to try to get an upper hand or whatever, which he's gonna lose anyway. But I feel like it's not gonna be what everyone is saying it's gonna be. Like, oh, it's gonna be riots, people gonna get things gonna happen. I think, of course, stuff's gonna happen. Things happen every day, but I don't think it's gonna be that crazy because, like I was saying to somebody earlier, they said all this when Obama became about Obama's what's it called? No, if that happens, we're gonna do this and that. There, I feel like people would have been more upset for Obama being president than Biden. I feel like they would be like, "Oh, I'm mad Trump didn't get it, but at least Biden is up there. He's not a black guy." You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel like how other people are gonna look at it.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
no.
what you're saying, Natasha.
But at the end of the day, we get close on this. But at the end of the day, what I think Trump is, in all honesty, is, and people have been using the word civil war a lot lately. I don't really necessarily like it, but they've been using the word civil war a lot lately, and to kind of feed into that ideology, the Confederate flag represented the Civil War. It represented it represents a way of thinking that this country, you would think, has since moved on from. I think Trump is the second coming of that. Like the ideology of Trump is basically, or MAGA, make America great again, is a symbol, just like the way the Confederate flag is. They are both symbols of a way of thinking that this country should move forward from. Because that's all, in my eyes, that's all it is. It's just a symbol that these same individuals that latch onto the Confederate flag have latched onto nowadays to promote the same way of thinking.
Do you think before Trump started running for president, he was racist?
That's a good question. It's hard to say because like a lot of black people that have the same conversation say that they don't believe that Trump is racist.
It's just that he appeals to that community.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
I feel like
community follows him, so
he's adapting to that, and he's using that as, all right, I can gain with this, so let me ride that wave to get where I need to get.
So I'll answer that two ways. I'll give an outright answer, but the first thing I'm just going to throw out there is, I've said this a few times too, that Trump was videotaping. You can search on Google and you can see the videotape. But Trump was videotaped in the 90s, like the early 90s, as saying, when he was much younger, saying that if he ever ran for president, I think Trump was actually a Democrat, but Trump said if he ever ran for president, he would run as a Republican because Republican people that follow the Republican Party are stupid. Those were his exact words. In saying that, and that video came out during his first presidential race, like that circled the airwaves. But in saying that, I want to say, yes, I do believe that he was racist, because the thing about a racist, there's two types of racists in my mind. There's a blatant racist and there's a closeted racist. I don't think that you could just necessarily become this level, the level of racist that we perceive him to be overnight. I think it was probably closeted. But now that he has the support of a lot of racists behind him, he can be who he wants to be.
Would that be a definition of a strategic businessman?
Because
he's set for life.
It probably started when he was campaigning, and he I guess was gathering who, was feeling him or whatever. So he had to start then. I mean, he may be racist. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what he is.
A closet racist will never want you to know that they're racist at the end of the day.
Right. But
because I wonder that, because it's like, I'm pretty sure he had black African American friends. You know what I'm saying? He had people that he did business with. So if they didn't peep that then, you know what I'm saying? Because people use him in movies, music videos, songs. I mean, like, how much can you hide it?
I mean, it's the whole purpose of Klan members wearing the hood, to hide their identity.
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes, like you said, that is true. Because sometimes you never know. You just never know.
But I don't know. A lot of times you can still feel
Sense
it.
of vibe.
You can still feel it, even if they don't say it. But you can just feel how they think. You can kind of make the assumption. But I didn't follow him, so I don't really know.
Yeah. I didn't follow him even until all this stuff started happening. So, but yeah.
What's your thought, Set? Do you think he's a racist?
Governor Set.
I don't follow him enough to know. I know he like has a lot. He has some racist followers and does some things that I feel are racially imbalanced. But he's a white person in America, and America is still largely racist. The fact that we have so many people voting for him, and despite everything he's shown us to be, leads me to believe that we not far enough in this race conversation. And the fact that black people even having to sit around on video conference and talk about is somebody racist or not, and that's cool, is a fucking issue.
Right.
The fact that we are having to decipher and determine who's a racist or not, who we can align to or not in 2020 in America lets you know that America got a long way to go.
Long way.
Yeah, and I know this. I think that there's a large number of billionaires, not even just white, but large number of billionaires is probably racist because there's a feeling of elitism of being that wealthy. But but anyway, so with that, so we can quickly go through these picks this week and then we can end it. So tonight, Packers, 49ers. I got the 49ers.
Got the Packers, man. George Kittle out.
49ers.
I got the Pack.
I got the 49ers.
Packers have been so iffy as of late, but
I got Richard Sherman.
Is he even playing?
I don't know.
The Texans versus the Jaguars.
Oh God, the battle dumpster. I guess the Texans. I don't know.
I really don't know for real. Every time I pick the Texans, they lost.
I'm gonna take the Texans. I'm gonna pick Deshaun.
At this point, I'm feeling like
it's
gonna be.
They won?
The Texans have won 1 and lost 6.
1 and 6.
How many games have the Jaguars won?
1 and lost 6.
Texans.
I really don't know, so I'm just gonna say Jaguars. I'm just gonna go against the grain. Giants and the Washington football team.
Washington, I guess.
Let's go Washington.
Yeah, because that's the battle of those. I feel like the NFL got some hot ass this year when it comes to just records. The Redskins. Oh no, why did I say Redskins? I just said the right name. The Ravens versus the Colts.
Ravens.
Both 5-2.
Ravens.
I think the Ravens about to bounce back, bro. I think they will.
I got the Colts.
I'm gonna say the Ravens. The Ravens been kind of mediocre this year too, but I'm gonna say Ravens.
I got the Colts, dog.
Does the Colts have a good defense this year?
Yeah, I think so.
They got signed. They 5-2.
Yeah, I haven't really followed the Colts. Detroit Lions versus the Vikings.
Go Detroit in this one.
The Vikings.
I'm gonna go Detroit.
I'm going with the Vikings.
Oh no, the Vikings pulled the upset.
Dummy last week.
Yeah, Vikings showed some life last week, so I'm gonna go with the Vikings.
If Dalvin could go dummy like that again, but they might make the playoffs.
Let me tell you, I'm going Houston in that Houston Jaguars one. But go ahead.
Who's next? Oh, the Bears versus the Titans.
The Titans, I guess.
The Bears.
I'm going
Khalil.
I'm going Titans because
Henry.
The Bears did every fucking thing in their power to blow their game last week, and I was not impressed at all. Like, bro, this mother Nick Foles out this bitch trying to sell the bag. So I'm scared to pick the Bears after watching that game last week for any game. So I'm going to the Titans.
The Bears.
Panthers versus Chiefs.
Chiefs.
I shouldn't even ask that one.
Let's go Panthers. You better pull this upset. No, they about to get Florida. I go KC on this one.
What's KC?
They might
7-1.
Oh, they're 7-1. Okay.
Man, y'all think Chiefs gonna repeat?
Yes, easy.
No.
But it's my Chiefs we talk about, so of course I'm going to pick that.
Really hard, and the odds are highly against a team to repeat in the NFL.
I know who's gonna win.
Yeah, but I've been watching all these other teams, and I just don't see.
Seattle gonna do it. Seattle gonna do it.
Speaking of Seattle,
Seattle not gonna get past the NFC. They don't get on defense here soon.
Speaking of Seattle, Seahawks versus the Buffalo Bills.
Come on, Seattle. Bro, Seahawks.
I'm gonna go.
It's gonna be close though, but Seahawks.
I think let's go Bills. Let's go Bills.
I really want to go Bills. I'm gonna say Bills. I'm just gonna go against the grain again.
Okay.
The Broncos versus the Falcons.
Broncos, because of my favorite team since they left. Since they got Peyton Manning. The Broncos.
I'm gonna go Falcons in this one.
We undefeated with a black. I mean, they undefeated with a black quarterback. I mean, coach. So
I'm gonna go Falcons in this one.
Really's hurt.
They undefeated with a black coach. They on the street, dog. They on fire. Oh no, they lost. They lost.
Speaking of the Falcons, did you see that video with Larry Fitzgerald was talking to Kyler Murray about Julio? Yeah. I said, dang, Larry Fitzgerald feel that way about Julio?
I'm gonna go with the Falcons, I guess.
Yeah.
The Falcons be showing so much hope. He said, they just fumble the fucking ball every time, bro.
He said
every fucking time.
Why? He said, watch number 11.
Henry Ruggs versus the Los Angeles Chargers.
Hey, I heard the backup quarterback doing good.
I'm going with Chargers.
I'm going Raiders, dog.
I'll go Raiders.
I heard the backup quarterback. I'm gonna go Chargers.
What is the Chargers record anyway, by the way?
2-5.
My team, my hometown team, you know what I'm saying, been rocking them since day one. The Miami Dolphins versus the Arizona Cardinals.
I'm going Cardinals because the Dolphins don't have no offense with Tua Tagovailoa. With TT
what did Tua do last against LA?
He ain't have to do nothing, man. Our defense showed out.
Say what did he do?
Nothing.
He had to do much.
We had to do nothing. Our defense showed out.
What did he do for like 50 yards?
About 94 yards.
Did y'all win?
I think it was like 94.
Miami won?
Yes.
This is tough because
our defense like to outscore them by itself.
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Arizona.
So his first start, he got to win.
Patrick Peterson, Buda Baker, the boy cold now. Buda Baker cold now. He gonna get him one. Even though TT my dog, Buda Baker gonna get him one. You heard it here first.
Right, you already know you going with the Dolphins, dog.
They made Russell Wilson throw 3 picks, so anything can happen. I'm going Arizona.
Who better than Russell Wilson, huh? Bro, I'm going with the hometown, bro.
What's next?
Miami.
Yes.
Whew, but I just went to sleep and had heard somebody say somebody Tua was better than Russell Wilson.
man, that had to been a nightmare, bro. It's crazy. Yeah.
I mean, TT, my dog, don't get it twisted, but
Tua's so trash.
He only played 1 full game, and yeah, he didn't look anything like my boy Russ. My boy Russ would have had. Who they played against?
I don't know.
Rams. He would have about 350.
Speaking of trash, the Cowboys play the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers. Boy, if you got somebody on the Pittsburgh team, you better go pick them up.
I'm gonna go to Vegas with Cowboys.
You wanna know what's crazy?
What?
I feel bad for them Cowboys fans because they finna get them praising all the time. Kirkland's finna be out.
I'm going with Vegas. I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to upset.
Minka Fitzpatrick will have an interception. You heard it here first.
Going Steelers, dog.
the New Orleans Saints versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh,
We're going TB.
AB gonna be playing. AB about to play.
TB.
AB about to play.
I've been going against Tampa Bay. Oh, go ahead, Zach.
I'm knowledgeable about the Saints. I go Saints.
I've been going.
When I take TB. Go ahead.
I've been going against Tampa Bay all of this year. but they have made me shut up all of this year. So the one day I'm gonna go for and watch they lose. I'm going for Tampa Bay.
No, man. TB, baby. Tom Brady for president. Just kidding. But
is AB active?
Yep.
I think he's gonna play. Is this week 8?
Yeah.
This week 9.
Yeah, he playing.
I think he can play after week 8. So yeah, he can play this week.
Oh, this might be interesting.
I mean, they don't really need him to beat the Saints. You know what I'm saying? The first game they lost to the Saints because their offense wasn't jailed yet. They jailed now. They ready.
Speaking of Tom Brady, his old team is about to play the worst team in the league, the New England Patriots versus the 0-8 New York Jets. If you have Cam Newton, you might want to play him.
I thought about it, but
They benched him?
I don't know who go. Nah, I'm talking about fantasy. Who gonna throw? They'll win because the Jets ain't gonna do nothing. But and they can't stop. They won't be able to stop whoever is at wide receiver. I don't think, or whoever at running back, whoever running the ball. They won't be able to do enough to beat them. So I'm gonna go with the Patriots.
I think this might be a bounce back game, hopefully, for Cam after having 2 less than stellar efforts. Hopefully the Patriots win this one.
I don't want to talk this into existence on me knock on wood, but if the Patriots were to lose this game, what do you think would happen? What do you think the Patriots would do as an organization?
At this point, they got the worst starting offense in the league. Like when you go down the line, like all their positions added together, they're not better than any offense in the league, I don't believe. But well, maybe the Jets, but they won't. The Jets, they got the worst football team in the league. Period.
Yeah. It's a lot. Like it's how can there be this many teams under 500 in the NFL? Like it don't make sense.
COVID. It's probably, I was about to say COVID.
And then lastly, Monday
but
Night
a lot
Football.
of teams under 500 would
Monday
typically be under 500 anyway, I think.
Yeah, that was Monday Night Football game. You said what now, T?
That's a bad Monday Night Football game.
Yeah,
it watch it though, but it's bad.
It's terrible. But yeah, that's it. That's all we got for you. Y'all got any closing thoughts for the people? Oh yeah, this allegedly is our last episode of season 2. So going to hiatus. Hopefully we have some good poll results when we come back.
Let them see my face.
Thank you, man. Mr. Ballari in about 3 weeks, isn't it?
Oh yeah, Abhishek is in the middle of buying his 3rd mansion, so he had to do his walkthrough and closing and all that shit today. So
makes sense.
He still ain't told me what remote island he bought this house on yet. I asked him, did he buy another house in Atlanta? He ain't told me yet. So,
well, I gotta before we wrap up, I got a question for Taryn though. Nadia.
What's up?
I don't want no question.
Taryn. Love. How is this podcast and how is Tua as a football player?
Great.
And we go
dirt.
Look, there's nothing else that needs to be said after that. You close the podcast right now.
Barely decent.
I guess this was a great podcast today.
Right. All right, hold on. I got a better question for you, Terrence, since he fucked up the question, dog. How was the closing of this election and Nevada's ability to count votes?
Now that's the whole opposite end of the spectrum. Trash. When we gonna get it right?
But we'll holler at y'all next season. Hopefully we'll think of something creative for the first episode. If not, then you know what I'm saying.
And Najee will finally burn that jersey.
Please subscribe to the channel.
Subscribe at the bottom below. Comment, like, subscribe.
Please leave comments on what you
I need you to do some editing, Najee, with my hands, dog. Subscribe. Here's the link.
Donate to our Patreon over here. Well, I'll let y'all
next week. Remember, guys, we love you.
Look, if we get 100K subscribers, Najee will go bald. I said it here.
Shit, nature gonna take care of that.
I'm talking about your face and hair and head. Okay.
We get 150K. Ty's gonna grow some dreads. Man, it's gonna be real out here, man.
I'm gonna get some weave and everything.
We'll holler at y'all next one.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.